The content is the way you tell your story online. Okay, when you tell a good story online, as far as your kind of business and target market is concerned, so it gives you some global viewpoint. It make people now begin to look at you as if you're really, really global. You would discover that it's easier to see multinational company from European origin in Africa that will see local African companies trying to penetrate Africa.
Mr. Seyi Babatunde is someone which I consider, when I saw the word, I with passion for building something for Africa and being able to global, I was like, wow. This is an incredible passion I feel many young people don't have, because everybody is thinking of how to Japan, also not even how to, and all of that. So for someone thinking of building for Africa and exporting the global world, making people see Africa as a better place, something that really funny. So I want you to kind of your startup by chaos your own, your story basically how you started and what drives your passion.
I'm the last born of four. I am a Nigerian, a regular Nigerian growing up in the streets of Lagos. But prior to that, I had a very rural setting in terms of I stayed in the village before coming to Lagos. But basically, those are just upbringing. But basically, I'm a regular Nigerian, doing business in Lagos, and we had a couple of opportunities that have, given us the little level up to, plant a couple of businesses within the continent. So as regards what drives, I guess the fear of poverty is one of the drivers earlier on in my life. I've seen it, like I usually tell people, I've seen what poverty is meant to be in terms of black and white. So the fear of not going back to where you come from, possibly early enough, drive and motivates me into entrepreneurship. However, from the university days, I've always known that there's more to, the 9-to-5 work. There's need for some of us to set aside certain things for us to, do our own business. Okay, so basically what that means for poverty and the need to, impact to people with almost zero background in terms of affluence and all that. So I could put that as some of the things that drive me. Then again, the knowledge of who we are in Africa is also an enabler in this part of in this stage of my life, and the fact that Africa has everything to for it to be prosperous, and some of the past antecedents of Africa as well, what Africa has been through in terms of economic backwardness. Those are some of the things that drive me, and of course, I wish in the little time that we've started our kind of business, I wish we have people having this kind of mindset that where Africa is where the money is, and if you're looking for wealth, you're looking for prosperity. If you can't make it in the continent, can't make it in Africa, you definitely need to struggle to make it in anywhere else. Okay, so the belief in Africa is also part of what is,
So you said Africa is near the money in Spain. That's my chicken to me on that. Yes, as against general like money in Canada, word.
So there's no way you would talk about the prosperity of Africa and doing business in Africa without you going through the ancient time. So basically 9-to-5 is really not an African thing prior to colonization. Okay, um, we've had in every kingdoms, every part of Africa, Nigeria, Benin, Uganda, Dahomey. So each of those kingdoms have what we call mini occupation. Okay, in the sense that people don't really work for somebody. We have a lineage that is into hunting. You have a lineage that is into what we call adire, like tie and dye, like clothing. You have a lineage that is basically through making of air. So traditionally, from the pre-colonial aspect of Africa has been entrepreneurial. Okay, and there are a lot of literature that speak to the fact that see this 9 to 5 thing is really wage earning, or commodification of labor is not necessarily a thing. Okay, but when your family is known for a particular kind of occupation and the next generation follows as it has its origin in Africa, and what you can see in this modern, what you can term as this modern time is basically entrepreneurship. Okay, so that's it. Then that is the historical analysis of entrepreneurship in Africa, basically. However, in 2024, okay, Africa is where money is, because majority of what you now call technology, be it the technology that make up the iPhone, be it technology that make the electrical vehicle, EV that now drive, most of those things stay as its source from Africa. There's a story behind the fact that every part of our phone gadgets, the main source that make us to be able to hear the panel dates back to places like Congo, where people go to the mines and dig up stuff, mine illegally and all that, and take remnants to Africa. So, whoever control the resources, or whoever control how you make the resources, will actually control wealth. Okay, there's no good saying that once you have what it is that everybody is buying, okay, you have the wealth. So Africa is not a market. Okay, Africa has the market and has the supply. So if you can control the demand and supply, definitely that is where the wealth is. Only that we need some level of awakened leadership and the need for people in diaspora to really understand the way the world moves. So that is what I mean by Africa, basically where the wealth is.
How do you overcome some of these challenges?
Okay, so the challenge I face in entrepreneurship, right? Yeah, so I'll basically the challenge of number one, not having anybody. Yeah, it is true. Why it's easier for somebody that doesn't know anybody, like in 2024, it's easier for a poor person to actually make certain mark in time than a wealthy, from you coming from a wealthy background. And I put to say, I can tell you that hopefully, because one of the things in my analysis, I said it is poverty that drives people like us. Okay, the fear of poverty, go back to where it used to be and all that in the earlier stage. Only that might not necessarily be the major driver right now. But the main obstacle that will possibly face is not having somebody earlier on to mentor you in terms of business. Okay, I didn't have anybody to look up to, especially in my nuclear family. Okay, that's one of the major obstacles I had. Then of course infrastructure, and coming from Lagos, we know when you have to buy fire to power your generator, okay, to render service, okay. So infrastructure is also one of those things. I'm not one of those people that I would say money, because finance is never a problem for entrepreneurship. Okay, I believe that when you have an idea, you start your business, your customer should finance your scaling. Then later, maybe you now want to scale big time, we'll probably go for some of these rounds and look for external investor. But the concept of family and friends is still a very, very good, viable way of starting a business. So I'm not one of those people that talk about finance as an obstacle. For me, from my customer experience, I think not having a mentor on time, or not having a mentor actually is an obstacle. And of course, infrastructure is huge. It's part of the obstacle. One of the things that I like to tell people is that it's easier to complain, but unfortunately, complaints doesn't solve it. So I was able to overcome not having a mentor issue. I decided to see anybody that is typically a role model online as somebody who could look up to. I attended a lot of conferences, I attended a lot of workshops, just trying to have the knowledge, okay? And remember that I said, because for me, nobody cares. I didn't have anybody that can only call for that or somebody that probably taught me. But I devoted a lot of money, a lot of time to go for conferences, paid trainings, paid workshops, and all that. Okay, and for infrastructure, there will always be infrastructure challenges in Africa. So coming up as a business, one of the things that I did was to use what we call virtual offices and co-working station. Okay, so that solves some infrastructure challenge earlier when I was starting off. So we used to co-working shared office spaces. Okay, so you don't need to now buy. You don't need to worry about internet. You don't need to worry about generator power and all that. Once you pay certain stipend, very reduced price in some of those co-working spaces, you are guaranteed some good infrastructure enablement for your business. So I think first of all, when you start a business, don't start only to face. Don't see yourself. You can start local, but try and go global. And the best way to do that is the content, is the way you tell your story online. Okay, when you tell a good story online, as far as your kind of business and your target market is concerned, so it gives you some global viewpoint. It makes people now begin to look at you as if you are really, really global. You will discover that it's easier to see multinational company from European origin in Africa than to see local African companies trying to penetrate Africa. So it's about time we have started already thinking in that direction. Okay, and how can they leverage on local talent? Basically, they should be able to. They should have some level of patience to teach people. You might not always have ready-made talents in Africa, but if you can give people opportunity in terms of internship, train them, let them sell your vision to them, they will buy into it. Okay, they will definitely buy into it. In our company, in the office space, some of our staff, they go do some they go do some work in some of the places that we are. Okay, some of them go to Kigali, go to Nairobi and all that. Those are some of the ways we expose our talents. Okay, so to grow talent for a global competitiveness, you have to be ready to train some people. Okay, and you have to be ready to sell your vision. Okay, selling your vision will let them know. Your vision plain. Let them know from the induction starts. Let them know what you intend to achieve. Let them know your global, how global you are. Okay, and in our vision statement, totally written. Okay, we actually want to our value is Africa, okay, and it's so for every of our conversation, we have always been talking about where we want to go, how we want to be, okay. So in each of those things that you do, whether let people know where you're going, and preach it to everybody from intern to a more stable staff. Let them know. For instance, in our company, our vision is to become a reference point, okay, a leader in technology of human resource consulting, one of the companies that we are consulting sector in Africa, which are respected around the world. So what that means is that from the onboarding stage, you let people know what you do and where you're going. So it is that is the only way they can buy into what you're trying to do. Okay, so that is it. Okay, so there's no one cap feature. Basically, I'm not here to sugarcoat the fact that doing business in Africa has a couple of challenges, from challenge of currency, from challenge of languages. I mean, the other time we're talking about going to Angola, and Angola speak Portuguese. The last time we're talking about going to Ivory Coast, they speak French. So I don't speak any of those languages. Okay, so what it means is that you need to form some level of partnership with people. Okay, you need to trust people enough to partner with them. LinkedIn is a very powerful tool. You could start with partner with people. Sometimes you don't need to be the MD CEO. Sometimes you just need to co-founder a portfolio. You could sign up for some level of partnership. Sign up for franchise. Okay, in some places we have to do some franchise for people to just treat with their name. Okay, so partnership is one key way to actually penetrate some of these places. Then again, you also need to be yes. So of course, you need to know that various laws. Africa has a lot of about 54 countries with various type of laws that are definitely not similar. So to navigate some of those regulations, you need competent staff. You need lawyers, okay? You need professional like accountants and lawyers, HR people and all that. So it's simple as to partner, because sometimes you might not be able to pay some of these people. If you can pay them, the next thing is for you to have alliance, have some partnership with them. So it's easier for you to start from them. However, for anybody listening to this, an easier way to do some of this Pan-African penetration is to start from where you are. If you're in Ghana, you can do partnership with Nigeria, within West Africa. If you're in East Africa, you can start with the next neighbor in East Africa, and so on and so forth. So you can start with where you are, but you must be you must understand what you're doing first. You must be a champion where you're coming from. Okay, and people must know you first. Okay, you must have like what we call digital capital. Okay, digital capital. I mean, people should be able to Google you and something. What did this? Yes. If they don't know where you're coming from, and the internet does not recognize what you are doing or you as a person, it becomes very, very difficult for anybody that you're just meeting online to trust you. So when you reach out to people on LinkedIn or something that you are into today, you want to partner with them in their country and all that, the next thing they will do is to read your profile. The next thing they will do is to Google your company. The next thing they will do is to go on social media and look for you. What are people talking about you? Okay, and even some review online about your company and yourself. So it's very, very important that you have some what we call digital assets. Okay, or whether on newspaper, on blogs, on social media, among others. So it's easier for people to give you some level of trust beginning with that. So the advice I give to young people is simple. There is no free lunch anywhere, and nobody owes you anything. Okay, your parent owes you nothing except possibly your education and all that. So once you finish school, you are basically on your own, just like we usually say it in business, you're on your own. So number one thing you need is to get skills. Get a skill. Are you a digital media person? Get a skill. Do you have a skill technical skill, basically. Okay, just get a skill. It is skill that we sell, especially companies that are into service. If you don't have a skill, if you not learned anything postgraduate or during graduate undergraduate, you basically don't have anything to say to the world. But if you have a skill, the skill could be computer literacy. Skill could be public speaking skill. The skill could be graphics. Okay, and if you don't have a job, go volunteer for the job. Go volunteer. I mean, there are a lot of small businesses across Africa. If you approach a new business and you tell them that you want to volunteer to gain experience at no cost, okay? I mean, they are looking for cheap labor, so use the opportunity to penetrate into the workforce, okay? Or into the workforce arena, and you see how you go. Because one thing is that once you start as internship, the next job you're going to get is definitely not going to be an internship. It's most likely to be a paid employment. And because of your experience previously where you've interned, okay, your price is now becoming higher. So number one, get a skill. Number two, if you don't have a job, go do internship, go volunteer your service, okay. Then of course, like I said, one of the good ideas is not having a mentor. So you could get somebody you look up to, either online or physically approach people that you think will be able to guide you. But trust me, above all, if you don't have a skill, basically you have nothing to offer the world. So that's it. So the skill is very
about mentorship. Now, the question now is, are you available to mentor people?
Because of my experience, I basically didn't have people I could look up to. So why not? I mean, it's better. I get people that mentor. That's why the fact that I didn't have that. Okay, but and if people see me as somebody they can look up to and somebody they can learn one or two things from, why not? I would definitely be. I'm actually very, very much approachable as far as. We all obey our timing and all that. Why not? I'm on every social media. Okay, I return my DMs on LinkedIn specifically. I take people on LinkedIn very seriously. On LinkedIn specifically, share about today. I mean, people should tell they open as to what they want. So, and of course, I think I prefer to be reach out to on LinkedIn. Okay, I'm always on LinkedIn from the professional angle, yes. On Twitter, I discuss something else on Twitter. So, but LinkedIn, yes, very, very professional. Okay, and if anybody wants to reach out to, why not? So definitely, if it's within what you're for. Okay, so Office Space, we want to be the enabler for infrastructure in Africa, especially companies to use our infrastructure to penetrate each and every other country that they intend to have their markets. So in the next 5 years, we want to go into a lot of partner with investors. Right now, we started without much of the angel capital, much of the VC fund, but we also now to scale with the kind of goal we have in mind. We actually want to, go into raising funds and making people have access to some of these African countries. Okay, so we tend to do that. Then, of course, we in the next 5 years we should have built our commercial real estate kind of business model. Okay, so apart from the shared office space that we have, so the next 5 years, those are some of the things that we would like to do. And of course, in the next 5 years. About infrastructure, one of the impediments to doing business in Africa is actually payments. Okay, I'll share you a little testimony. I send money to Abidjan. Abidjan is in West Africa. I'm from West Africa. I sent money to Abidjan to incorporate business, and it took them 3 weeks for that money to get to where it's going to. Okay, So the way it is in most Francophone countries, the money will first of all be converted into, go to the central bank. They will be converted into their local currency before the owner of the money eventually gets it. So one of the things that I have interest in, especially in investment, the next move is actually to enter into cross-border payments. It's going to be very, very hard decision. It's going to be very, very hard kind of business. But as somebody that have experienced this delay, okay, because what the illustration I just gave you actually cost me to pay extra in terms of tax in registration process. So it's huge problem. Okay, it's a huge problem. So payment, cross-border payments, it's something that I think I will also be interested in terms of part of the business I want to do. You don't have finance to start any business in this world now. Anybody that doesn't want to start because of finance is not serious. First of all, I think the first thing that you need, okay, is skill. When you have a skill, you go use your skill and work. When you are working, okay, you'll be able to sharpen your skill. Then use your skill to start the business. Once you use your skill to start the business while you're still working, that's why you are not in competition with where you work. Your first customer will pay you the money that you invest into that business. It's like a farmer. I like to make this illustration. It's like farming. Where you plant cassava or maize, when you plant maize, let's say you plant maize, 20 seed of maize. That 20 seed of maize can give you clumps of maize. So instead of you now harvesting the maize and eating your maize, why not we plant those maize that you just harvested? So when somebody first of all give you money, that's your first customer that gives you money, don't eat all the money. We invest it into your business. That is how you should be able to make wealth. So the analogy of farmer and the harvest, use it as a corporate sense in terms of starting a business. If anybody does not want to start because he doesn't have money to start, that person is not serious. Okay, and it's not because I did same. It is just not get the skill. Once you get the skill, use your commercialize your skill. With your commercialization of your skill, customers will pay for your skill. Once customers start paying for your skill, we invest whatever customer has paid. Okay, it's not going to be easy. Definitely, of course, it's not going to be easy. But the fact is that you have to start with what you have. And what do you have? You have a skill. Once you have a skill, commercialize your skill. Once you commercialize your skill, go into business. Or you work first, then from where you're working, your skill will be sharpened. Then you can now commercialize your skill and make your customer your first paying customer. Therefore, you can use it to now invest into your business. I think that's very simple, and that's what anybody that is really sincere in starting up anywhere in Africa should be able to start doing. If you can't make it anywhere in Africa, you will surely struggle to make it anywhere else. Okay, and no matter where you go to do any kind of business that you do outside the continent, you need to understand that there are people whose origin that there are a lot of people that don't have anywhere to go except that their countries. So you need to see those countries that are chopping through Europe and the America as a temporary journey. So you having seen that as a temporary journey, you need to know that seek for yourself to come back home and invest in Africa. You cannot continue to take African money to spend it in Europe. You can't continue to sell your house and take all those wealth to Europe and later have the temerity and the guts to complain that Africa is poor. Okay, when you go do business outside Africa, when you go working outside Africa, take back your money back home and invest it in Africa. That's the only way you can, that's the only way we can be productive and have wealth in the continent. But by the time you keep complaining, you want to go to Europe and all that, and you sell all your property and go to Europe and say that you're not going to come back again, you're one of the problem. Okay, I'm more of a philosophical business person than a business person. So anybody that's going to listen to this podcast, one thing I will basically advise is that a lot of people believe in Africa, so it should be very, very ineffective or it should be huge judgment for Africa themselves not to believe in themselves. Wherever you are, bring back your money, invest in Africa, and prosperity will be part of the gains in the long run.